Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Oh my goodness, it is an incredible time of year. I love this time of year, and I know some of you guys, you're just taking this time off to celebrate the holidays with your family. Congratulations. You've earned it if that's you, okay? And if you've decided, I'm still going to be tutoring my students throughout the holidays. Well, good for you also, because you're putting, real value into what it is that you do, and you're continuing to just go with it. Now, this year is a little different for me because I am not going anywhere for the holidays. We're staying home for the holidays, and so I can still kind of do business as normal a little bit. I mean, not on the actual holidays, but those are on the weekend. So I still can have those days on off.
I think they have a song about that, Joanne.
Do they?
About staying home for the holidays?
Oh, yes, staying home for the holidays. It's weird. I am not used to staying home for the holidays. And you guys, I have today Beth Hansford joining me today. She is my amazing virtual assistant, which I could never do half the stuff that I'm able to do without her. So I always thank her when she comes on. She is always my guardian angel and a huge blessing to our community. And today we are talking about, what do you do to celebrate for the holidays? I would love for you guys to just kind of put into the chat, what do you do to celebrate for the holidays? And we'd love to share it on out so that others can get some ideas and be inspired as well. Now, in the beginning, when I started my tutoring business, I was kind of a little bit more hands-on with tapping into my students during the holiday seasons. I sent each of them a Christmas card with my family on it. And I would sometimes send them a little gift or a little present. But, as the years have gone on with my tutoring, I've just made it a little bit more simple, and I do something like this. So you see right now behind me a Christmas virtual reality background. So that's how, these days, it's amazing how the kids' eyes just blow up. They're like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And they absolutely love it. And we also have Joan Ruffins joining us today, who is part of our Jumpstart Your Online Tutoring Business Masterclass. So woo! Welcome, Joan. Glad you're here with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you so much.
I love it. So we're just having a fun chat on how people, celebrate the holidays during this amazing season. And I know Beth, show us your shirt, Beth.
So I have this one, my ornament shirt. So I've been wearing that on some lesson occasions with my students, but then I have another one that I'm gonna break out this week specifically with my students. Should I go ahead and show
Oh, I don't know. I
everybody?
think we should like hold on. Let's hold
Yeah,
on. Let's make them
yeah,
wait just a little bit because this is really special, you guys. This is so cool. But you're just gonna have to hold on and just see it for like a second. Joan,
yeah,
what do you do to celebrate the
yeah,
holidays with your
yeah.
students? What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I love your background. It is amazing.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, so uh, a little bit of music in the background, a little bit of,
Ah,
Chris ask the kids actually what their favorite music is, that they like to listen to, and to get them going and get them in the mood, and let them feel like they would have been in the classroom with the party and all. And so just have them little festivity going on. And the last day I would ask them to get some popcorn so that we can have a little bit of popcorn that the last day, and read a book about Christmas, a Christmas book.
oh,
I'll
I
find out
love
what their
it.
favorite Christmas book is, and then read mine. I love the Polar Express. That's a longer book, but just let them know that this time of year is a special time. And of course, I would have first of all asked them what they and their family do to celebrate the Christmas, so that we can make that connection. Maybe I can relate to what they're doing. And I
Yes.
know, we're in different parts of the country, and some of us will have snow and some will not. And so yeah, just let the mood, let the music play in the background so that they can, be a little festive, and just find out what they do, and incorporate that into the lesson maybe, and make it related to whatever the lesson that we're talking about for the day, and let them feel warm and invited, and like they
Yes.
would in the traditional schools, you would say.
Yeah, I so love that. I love the music kind of playing in the background, giving it that festive holiday spirit, and so awesome. Now, let's so I teach reading, and it looks like Joan, you teach reading as well. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
I see the
It's very
chart behind
different.
you. I was like, yep, looks like she
Oh
teaches reading as
yeah.
well.
Yes, chart. Yes. Oh
And
yeah.
Beth teaches Spanish, so we kind of have a little bit of little differences going on here, and it doesn't matter like what you tutor or what age you tutor, you still can do things for your students if you want to. There's absolutely like this is our own business, so you don't even have to do anything if you don't want to. There's nothing that puts you in a negative space or a positive. Like, yeah, they're gonna feel a little bit more special if you do something, but if you don't do anything, don't worry. Like your great tutoring is all that's really needed. But sometimes taking that extra step can really make a difference. I saw this past week. One of the people in our community, she was actually putting together coffee cups with hot chocolate bombs
So
inside of the
cute.
coffee cups, and then she had like a candy cane sticking out of it, and she wrapped it really pretty for them all to get their own little Christmas mug. But not everybody celebrates Christmas. So, Joan, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Like, find out from your students, what do you celebrate? I had a student, he was so excited 2 weeks ago to show me this Star Wars present that he got. And it was through that I realized that he celebrates Hanukkah. He does
Okay.
not celebrate Christmas. And I know I have learned nothing about Hanukkah. So I had him teach me about Hanukkah. Like, well, what do you guys do? Tell me a little bit more. And that's really a cool experience too, where they get to share like what it is that they do. I have another student in London that does not celebrate Christmas. They do like they do a Christmas it's not like they don't do Christmas, but they do between the cousins do like a grab, like a Christmas grab, like where you have to buy something for somebody else that's like $10 or less, right? So they still have like a little bit of that going on, even though they're Muslim and they don't celebrate Christmas. So find out from your students and don't assume that they all celebrate the same holidays that you do, because when we start working with people from all over the world, even in just the United States, there are people who just don't celebrate the same holidays as we do. So it is really important to find out, what do they celebrate? How do they celebrate it? And, you know, what excites them. I asked my student last week, I'm like, oh, did you get any other like Hanukkah gifts that, you know, recently? And he's like, Hanukkah's over. I was like,
8 days.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Like, yeah, there again, shows the little I know about Hanukkah.
Yep. And Three Kings Day, I learned about that also. There's a good video. It's called Holidays Around the World. There's Three Kings Day. There's St. Lucia's Day in Europe. And Three Kings is basically Puerto Rico and some Spanish countries.
Yes.
But yeah, there's a lot. I'm like, and Kwanzaa, that's a newer one. But you could also make crafts. I mean, I guess my kids made the snowflakes. Aww. But yeah, I mean, they can make some things just like, with us, like cut and paste, or just, follow directions, and something as simple as making a snowflake.
Right? What kid doesn't like making snowflakes?
Yes.
Right. And then like putting snowflakes all over your house. And what parent doesn't love cleaning up after all those little pieces of white paper all over the floor? Every parent loves that. We all do. It's all fun, especially when you just keep that into the holiday spirit, right? Look, they're having fun. This is amazing. I love it. We also had another person inside of our group. She's very similar to you, Joan. She had said, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you guys can see what she said and how she celebrates the holidays. So this is Dawn Umby, and she said, everything I do this week is related to Christmas. Reading about reindeer, Christmas around the world, games that have Christmas themes to practice sight words and facts, and then she ends with a Merry Christmas for them. So I love that. I think it's so cool, the how creative people can get, even just changing the themes. I have this one game that I play with my students. It's called wordwall.net. Do you ever use that, Joan?
Mm-hmm.
I have not yet.
Okay, so you guys have to see wordwall.net. This is so cool, you guys. I'm going to come on over here so you can see it. Wordwall.net.
Yeah, I love Wordwall. I use it all the time. My students ask for it now. They're like, can we play that game?
What I love is like it's little things like this that don't take any extra work or effort on your side, but are fun. So let's say I would normally be teaching the closed and silent E pattern, right? Well, now I can come down here and I can make it a Christmas themed sort, instead of it being, the regular one. And here it is, that Christmas theme. So how cool is that, right? So we're sorting the presents. Even though we're doing the same activity, right? It did not require me to do anything, and I love that because I can still be saying like kind of like acknowledging it, but then also staying on task with what it is that I'm here to be teaching them and helping them like enjoy. So yeah, Beth.
Yeah, this past week I've been so with my students, I well, I actually kind of felt bad for their parents at the end of this, because I'm sure they went home or they got off the Zoom and sang it all night long. But first of all, we did a Christmas coloring activity with their Spanish sight words, because I've been really focusing on sight words with one of my Spanish students. She's little, and then at the end, kind of just as a fun lesson closer, we sang Feliz Navidad together, that yes. upbeat song, and I'm sure the kiddos were singing it all night long just because it's catchy, but
it's in my head right now. Anybody else? Are you singing Feliz Navidad right now? Like Feliz Navidad. Ooh.
Yeah, sorry everybody, but no. But the kids were dancing. They were up and moving. They loved it. They learned the Spanish words for, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And, it's another thing that we can add in. And yeah, all of my books and everything, just like Dawn and Joan have been holiday themed and all of that. So it's been a lot of fun. It's just making little tweaks like that to,
Yep.
To like what your normal lessons would be and what the kids need to learn anyway, but making them even Christmas themed or holiday themed in the slightest, and the kids, all of a sudden think it's the coolest thing in the world, and I love it. And seeing their smiles is the best thing.
I know.
So yeah.
I always start off too, just like I usually start off with some kind of a question or opener, and I usually use it like all day. Like, so right now it's like, hey, have you asked for anything for Christmas? And so that always lets me know, like, if they celebrate Christmas or not, because they'll let you know right there. Oh yeah, we don't celebrate Christmas. Oh great, tell me what you celebrate, right? But then the other thing is that they'll tell me like what they're looking for. I'm like, okay, well, you'll have to let me know after Christmas if any of those things end up underneath your tree. How exciting. And, again, it just is like acknowledging them and who they are, right? And just having a simple conversation. It doesn't have to last very long. I usually am asking this question while I'm opening up their stuff. So I'm opening up their sight words, and I'm opening up their Kids A to Z account, and just having that little conversation with them and listening, and then saying things like, "Oh my gosh!" So I'm gonna put my power in here, and I am going to try. I'm gonna try to communicate right now with Santa and see if he has that gonna be underneath your tree. Okay, I'm letting him know right now that you really, really want this. And I think that it's so cool. And then, you got your kids who would be like, yeah, I don't believe in Santa anymore. I'd be like, yeah, but we were just having fun, right? So, you just got to go with the flow, whatever it is they, believe or don't believe. And I had a neighbor who actually didn't ever teach her kids about Santa and did not celebrate Santa at all. And they specifically told their kids, like, do not tell anybody else. Like, we don't celebrate it. Like, the gifts come from us. The sky's fake. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Everybody has their own little thing, but it is fun when you start like going on into the other countries. And you mentioned Three Kings Day, Joan. And Three Kings Day, when I had my foreign exchange student Anna living with us, they celebrate Three Kings Day.
Tres Reyes?
Was it?
Tres Reyes?
Oh, is that what it is in Spanish?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, that's all I know is that's what they celebrate. And so it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and I know the Chinese New Year is a part of the winter holidays, and so and actually towards the winter solstice, so that's also a little lesson. But yeah, especially international. I mean, Chinese New Year is a big thing, and I mean, kind of like we're affected by the Chinese New Year's because, well, just the different businesses.
Yep.
You're on vacation or whatnot, and your shipment may not make it on time. But yeah, so it's all a part of it. And there are so many other holidays that we're not, like you were saying. I knew a little bit about Hanukkah because my child's kindergarten teacher taught about all the different, and they made the pancake. It was the potato pancake, the latke thing. All the different things. But yeah, so it's definitely the most important thing is to recognize the students and what they, what their culture, what they believe, and so how they celebrate. So yeah, and that makes them feel, special and
really does.
Important. So yeah.
It does. And so if you guys have any ways that you guys celebrate, definitely put that inside of the chat, and we'd love to see how you celebrate with your students as well. Now, we say happy holidays because this isn't just about Christmas or just about Hanukkah or just about Three Kings Day. This also about New Year's, right? We've got New Year's coming on up. So I know that one of the big things that Anna, when she came here, when she celebrates New Year's, they celebrate at midnight a little differently than we do. They celebrate each minute, each minute with a grape in their mouth. So each minute for a countdown for the last 12, I think it's the last 12 minutes, they put a grape inside of their mouth. And they have to hold it on inside of there until finally it is midnight and they can chew it. I know know.
No.
She was so disappointed when she came here and she saw what New Year's looked like here, because they get all dressed up and they like
Yeah.
her parents were on the computer screen. We could see them. They're all dressed up really fancy. They've got their fancy drinks in hand. And here in America, you know, most of us, we kind of do it a boring way. Like some of us might not even make it to midnight. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we might watch it here in Wisconsin. We watch it like at 11 o'clock, the countdown, because, you know, it's an hour. So we're counting down with them. We're like, all right. And then I'm out. I'm like, I might make it to midnight. I might not. But it is a very lazy day for us here in America. We all kind of hang out at home and don't do much. Yeah, Beth.
Yeah. When we were little, or younger at least, and we still keep this tradition till today just because it's fun, to get around the midnight thing. So you actually met them. My grandparents in England, I have grandparents and family in the UK. We would so their midnight is our 7 p.m. here, and so we would call them at their midnight at our 7 p.m. here in the US, on the eastern side of the US, and we would celebrate their New Year's, and then our parents could get us to go to bed when we were growing up.
Nice.
Because we had stayed up till midnight.
Right. It was midnight by grandma and grandpa. I love it.
So, I mean, and we still do celebrate New Year's with them now, even till today, even though we can all, you know, sometimes make it till midnight. So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
I was gonna say, for New Year's, what I learned was that, you know, in the South, people prepare like pork, collard greens, and black-eyed peas, and they mean different things. Like pork is for prosperity. I forgot what the black-eyed peas and the greens mean, but I was like, huh? I didn't know, because my in-laws were like always saying black. Yeah. I was like, my husband's like, I don't like black-eyed peas. But anyway, so that's, you know, the kids, they could probably tell you what their parents prepare for that special day.
yes.
Yeah, so everyone's culture is different, you know.
Everyone's culture is different, and it's nice to respect it. Yeah.
For like for Christmas, we're doing a gumbo. My husband's from Louisiana, and we've already had our turkey because we mostly eat turkeys. So anyways, we're doing a gumbo, a seafood gumbo for Christmas. You know, it's a little different, but yeah.
I love it. And where do you live, Joan?
Florida right now. So
nice.
Actually, I'm originally from Jamaica. For the first 11 years, I had no idea about Santa, and because I grew up in a remote area. On a small island with like electricity, running water. So our exposure to the outside world was like this much. And so, yeah, I didn't know about Christmas until moving to Canada first, then the US. We actually drove from the US to Canada, Canada to the US for my first Christmas. And that's where I got my first Christmas present, doll and tree and stuff like that. So yeah, other parts of the world, we're like, huh? We don't know. All we know is what's going on in America. whatever we're told. So now I'm in America, and I know a little bit more now, going to school and teaching, and, you know, learning from kids and adults alike. And so, yeah, so it's a little bit different for all of us.
It is. And did you have any, in Jamaica, did you have any New Year's celebrations that you guys did, traditions or anything like that?
Like a picnic. They call it a picnic. So that was like the big celebration. You killed, well, okay, I wouldn't say kill, like the national dishes, like curry goat. So we have like a big community party.
Got it.
Call it, yeah.
Wow.
So I remember something about a llama, and then, you know, in Puerto Rico they have the llama, llama, and I was like, oh, I'm trying to make the connection. But yeah, so there wasn't a Santa, wasn't any presents, wasn't any trees. We just heard about Christmas and maybe have a dinner. So yeah, it's definitely different. I have a book that I wrote, right? So in my book, I talked about how I received my first doll. I know that's crazy, at 11. And I usually share with my students the page where I received my first doll. And this is actually the Christmas tree. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh, I love that.
And I always remembered that doll. And so that was and Cabbage Patch Kids and stuff like that. So that was my first Christmas though. And it was like, wow, I was already, a preteen and I still got my first doll. I loved her. And and so it was like an amazing experience, my very first Christmas.
Yeah. And Natalie Morales is from Trinidad. She's like, we're so, we're so close, like country wise, but we're so different. They have different traditions and cultures. So, wow, it is amazing. And even here in America, there's so many different people celebrating different things that it's important. All right, you have to tell us, Joan, what's the name of your book?
Book of Joanne. This is book 2. It's about my childhood growing up in Jamaica. Yeah, this was book 1. It basically, and one of the reasons why I wrote this book, I wrote it with my first grade class. A few years ago, we did it together. And then book 2, I wrote that, and book 3 is coming out. Just my childhood growing up in a very different world. And if you notice that there's a flag on each book.
Yep.
So I have social studies incorporated, a little bit of science, but mostly to try to encourage kids and remind them wherever you are, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't really matter. It just matters, your dream. If you have a dream, you can fulfill your dream by working hard and just keep on going, experience life, and you never know where life's going to lead you. So I'm just so happy that I was able to do that when I was in the classroom with my students. We came up with the whole thing. And my students, actually, I usually record it for my virtual students or online students, and they get to listen to me read it if I don't always have time to read it with them. And sometimes I give them out as prizes, like for the most books read and most assignments and so on. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. If people want to buy that book, where can they go to buy it?
Oh yeah, there's joanruffins.com or good old amazon.com.
There you go, Amazon. Yeah, Amazon, you guys, you gotta check that out. I love that you share your story in there. I actually wrote a children's book as well called 3 Little Sisters Get Along. It doesn't share anything about that. It just happened to be inspired by a friend who took a picture. She drew a picture of my kids in a tree, and it inspired me. All of a sudden, I was looking at that picture, and it inspired a story, and so I wrote it.
Yes, that's what happened. And pictures are helpful. I mean, and you can do a whole story about a picture, like you said, and they're helpful. They help you with the memory too. Mm-hmm. That's what helped me to remember. I was like, oh my gosh, I had the picture of the Christmas tree and I remembered. And so, yeah. And that visualizing, helping the kids. And that's like for the kids who are dyslexic, help them to paint that picture in their head, in their mind. And that helps them with making that connection and so on and so forth. But yes.
I love it. I love that story came out on here, because that is, it's just so unique and so wonderful. All right. Now, I know that some of you guys are waiting to see Beth. What Beth is gonna wear here. This is some pretty big stuff, you guys. You gotta check this out. Are you guys ready? And we're gonna do a countdown, Beth. All right, you guys ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, let me make sure I have. Okay.
Beth is going to become.
A Christmas tree.
She's going to become a Christmas tree. Woo! Look at that. Oh, she's got a little armholes for it. Yeah. Oh, look at this. I love it.
Here we go. And then.
Wait, there's more. There's more. She not only becomes a Christmas tree, but
I have a little star.
Oh, how adorable is that? Are they just like, so what do your students' eyes look like when they see that?
Oh my goodness. The little ones, they love it. And it's a little whopper jawed here, a little sideways here, but no, they're like, Miss Beth, you're a Christmas tree.
Yes,
and it cracks me up every single time. And I say yes, and I use it in my lesson. I'm like, yes, and do you remember what we call Christmas trees in Spanish? And they're like, un árbol. And then I'm like, okay, and what's Christmas? Navidad? I'm like, very good. Un árbol de Navidad. So, and then we can go over colors. Like there's I mean, there's some
Yes.
lessons right in this piece of clothing that I have.
What a great talking piece.
I love it.
Love
So
it. How
yeah,
fun is that? And so, you
so
guys,
fun.
you can bring in these traditions any way that you want to. There are no rules, right? If you just want to make it so that it's a little bit more Christmas themed, you can. If you want to focus on like Christmas themed books, or, instead of working on just the math facts, having a Christmas themed background, or you want to send your students actual presents, you absolutely can. There are no rules as to what you can and what you cannot do. And whatever you do, know that it's appreciated by your students and that they are blessed to have you in their lives. So thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Yeah, Joan.
Virtual cards. I'm sorry, your last thing. Virtual cards. That's so
Ah,
easy. So easy. So easy. Canva, virtual
so
cards.
easy. That's such a beautiful idea too, because it doesn't like take too much time to do something like that, and yet it's still very personal to them. I
Yes.
love it. So you guys have an amazing, amazing week. We will not be here this Thursday. We're going to take Thursday off, but we will be back next week. You guys enjoy the rest of your holiday season, and we will see you soon. Merry Christmas, happy holidays,
Feliz
and
Navidad.
goodbye. Feliz Navidad.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Bye.